a normal tourist, a perfect vacation, and then the most disturbing airport security footage on the internet. Lars Mittank was 28 years old, a German on a summer beach trip to Bulgaria. He had a return ticket, a valid passport, no reason to run, until he did. Security cameras at Varna Airport recorded him sprinting through the terminal, abandoning his luggage, his passport, his money, vaulting a perimeter fence, and disappearing into a dense Bulgarian forest. That was July 8, 2014. No confirmed sightings since. You will not find a clean answer at the end of this, but you will understand why the three people closest to this case, a mother, a detective, and a doctor, each reached a completely different conclusion about what Lars Mittank was running from. June 2014. Lars Mittank travels with a group of friends to Golden Sands Resort just outside Varna, Bulgaria. It's a standard summer trip. Beach, clubs, young German men on holiday. Nothing unusual, then something ordinary goes wrong. At a local bar, a confrontation breaks out with a group of rival football fans. Lars takes a punch directly to the ear. He goes down. His friends get him out. No hospital that night. No police report. Just a painful ear and a long walk back to the hotel. The next morning, the group prepares to fly home as scheduled. A doctor at the resort examines Lars. The verdict, minor ear injury, but the cabin pressure from flying could cause serious damage until it heals. He cannot board a plane yet. He needs official medical clearance first. It should take 2 days, maybe 3. Lars tells his friends to go without him. He books a cheap hotel near the airport. He has his phone, his passport, his cards. He has no reason to be afraid. His friends board the plane. They land safely in Germany. They assume Lars will follow within the week. He never does. What happens in the days that follow is documented, but not understood. Lars begins calling his mother from Varna. Not once or twice, repeatedly. At all hours, the call that changes everything comes at 3 in the morning. Lars tells his mother he is being watched. 4 men, he says. They are following him. They are waiting for him outside. He tells her to block his bank cards immediately. He is convinced someone is trying to access his accounts. Or worse, his mother urges him to call the police, to go to the hotel desk, to get outside. Lars refuses. He will not leave the room. He does not trust the hotel staff. He does not trust anyone. This goes on for days. He stops going down for meals. He communicates almost exclusively with his mother by phone. He barricades himself inside. The hotel staff later describe a man who seemed terrified, but could not say what of. His mother contacts the German consulate in Bulgaria. She contacts local police. Welfare checks are conducted. Lars is found physically unharmed each time. He tells authorities he needs to wait for ear clearance before flying. He appears to the police who see him like a man who is frightened of something specific. Something real, but no one can find the 4 men. No one can find any threat, and no one can make Lars Mittank leave that hotel room until the morning of July 8th, when he decides, on his own, to walk to the airport and finally get his clearance. The security footage from Varna Airport has been watched millions of times. It is not the most violent footage on the internet. It is not the most graphic, but something about it, something in the way he moves, makes it almost impossible to watch without feeling it. Lars enters the airport medical waiting area at approximately 11 in the morning. He sits down. He waits. He appears agitated, but contained. He is 10 minutes away from getting his clearance and going home. Then a male airport employee walks into the room. What happens next, by every account, is inexplicable. Lars Mittank stands up. He grabs his bag. He screams that he does not want to die here. And he runs, not toward the exit, not toward the taxi rank, not toward anything that makes sense. He sprints through the terminal at full speed. He reaches the airport perimeter. He vaults a chain-link fence without breaking stride. He runs into the dense forest on the eastern edge of the airport property. And he is gone. He leaves behind his passport, his luggage, his money, his phone, which goes dark almost immediately. The employee he fled from was identified and interviewed. He had no connection to Lars Mittank, no prior contact, no explanation for why his arrival in the room triggered what it triggered. The last confirmed image of Lars Mittank is a figure disappearing over a fence into a Bulgarian forest. Search teams entered the forest within hours. Dogs, ground units, aerial surveillance. They found nothing. Days later, Lars Mittank's phone emitted a brief signal near the Romanian border. Then it went silent. Permanently, 3 theories have been examined since. The first is pharmacological. Lars had been prescribed cefuroxime, a broad-spectrum antibiotic, for the ear infection. Documented side effects include paranoia, acute anxiety, and, in rare cases, psychosis severe enough to override rational thought completely. The nocturnal phone calls, the refusal to leave, the sprint, the fence. Every behavior is consistent with a cefuroxime-induced episode in a patient with an undiagnosed susceptibility. The second theory is darker. Varna in 2014 had documented links to organized crime networks operating throughout the Black Sea region. The theory holds that Lars was targeted from the moment of the fight or before it, that the 4 men were real, that the fear was rational, that he ran because he had every reason to run. The third is a pre-existing condition, previously undiagnosed, triggered or accelerated by the head trauma from the punch. A latent vulnerability that surfaced at the worst possible moment in the worst possible place. None of these have been confirmed. None have been ruled out. Lars Mittank would be 37 years old today. His mother has not stopped looking. The case remains open in both Germany and Bulgaria. The camera caught him running. What it could not capture was what he was running from.